Hello there and welcome to this video on pitching. What we're going to go through today is the procedure for how I decide exactly what club and how I'm going to hit the shot for every pitch shot, and we're going to do a couple of different lengths and lies and things. So the first thing I'll do, I'd always get my yardage. Let's have a look. Okay, so I've got 88 yards. Before I even think about club, I'll throw up some grass. It's fairly still, but it's a little bit against. So let's say 88 yards, that makes it 90 yards. Then what I would do, I'd have a look at the lie. So the lie of the ball, got a nice lie, I'm on the fairway preferred lies, but the ball is below my feet. So this might well make the ball fade a tiny bit, which again takes a couple of yards off. And I've got to be careful that I don't thin the ball because the ball's further down. So I said I had 88 yards, it's probably playing about 90 yards. My 60 goes 78 and my 54 goes 95 yards. So the club I would use here is the 54, but I'm just going to take a little bit off it, so I'm not going to go full belt. Okay, so the hardest I would ever hit a wedge is probably only 75–80%. So for this one here, I'm going to take another 5% off, get a good strike, and just trust the fact that the process I've done to work it out is going to be good. So I'm going to aim a little bit left because the ball's below my feet. I think the ball might fade a tiny bit in the air. Let's have a go. So I aim slightly down the left hand side. I know I've got ample club here, so I don't need to hit this one here too hard. Okay, so a couple of yards left, let's get a good strike. Okay, so there we go. So that was dead on line. I called it a fraction heavy, but by looks of things we're only about 15 foot short of the flag, but the ball has ended directly in line with the flag. Let me just zoom in, I'll see if I can show you where that one's ended. Okay, so here we are, ready for the second pitch. This time we're in the rough. Same procedure. Let's get the yardage and okay, so 75 yards. 75 yards, let's test the wind. Okay, so if anything, it might be a little bit downwind, but there's not a great deal here. So the lie is the interesting one this time. What I would do on a shot like this, I'd actually address the ball because we're not on the fairway, you don't quite know the lie. Obviously, you can't push down hard, but I'm just saying, okay. So there's not a lot of grass behind it, which is good, so it means I can get any club to it. So 75 yards, I said I have. My 60, which is what I've got here, goes 78 yards. Now I'd be careful on this type of shot because the flag is actually right at the back. So there's probably a couple of ways that we can play this. We can go with the 60 and strike it almost full, strike it, get a good shot up there and hopefully generate some spin so the ball stops. If it jumps through, we might go long. Or I can hit 54, maybe a pitch and wedge in a bit lower and run it up the green. Let's go with the 60. So again, pretty much a full swing. So I'd never go full out for a wedge. As I've said, a good firm 3/4 one. We're going to strike this. To be honest, if this come up a few yards short, that'll be okay because it needs to be an uphill putt and I don't have to worry about going long. So the flag's 75. If I hit this anywhere between sort of 70 yards, that will do me. Not going to be too greedy here. Let's have a go. Okay, so I don't need to go full out again. Get it up to there. Okay, I'm going to aim dead aim this time, straight for the flag. Let's have a go. It's looking good. We're up in the air. And that looks fine. It probably leaves me about 15 foot short of the flag, which considering how tricky the flag is at the back, that was fine. Let's just see if I can have a go with a different club and see if we get a different result. So let's put the ball down somewhere similar. Okay, so if I was to go, let's go with my 54. And this could be quite a good shot for you to play if you're not confident throwing it all that way. What I'm going to do this time, I'm going to move the ball slightly further back in my stance. That'll give me a lower trajectory so I can land it on the front part of the green, so I run much less risk of flying it out the back. And as it's in the back of my stance, it's just going to release a bit more. So we had 75 yards, so I need to get a yardage for the front of the green. Let's have a look. So about 60 yards, so I've got ample club here. So if I can carry this ball of 60, 65 yards just over the front part of the green, we'll probably get a bit of check and then it should just release up to the hole. As I say, this isn't how I play it, but it certainly gives you another option. So ball a bit further back, always lean forwards. So let's try to carry it 60 odd yards. So that's come out, landed, and okay, I've carried that a bit too far in all fairness. That's just run up to the very top edge of the green, but at least it gives you an option for when the flag's at the back that you can hit a shot, land it on the front part and let it run up towards the back. Okay, so here we are with our third pitch. Now this time we've got a bit of a tricky situation here, so let's have a look. So we've only got 37 yards to the flag, and even though it's preferred lies, I've got quite a tight lie here, which I know a lot of people don't like. And in all fairness, when you play with a lofted club, it does make it trickier to strike the ball. There's not a lot of room for error. So 37 yards, the flags are on the front part of the green. If I was playing this in a game, I'd probably hit my 60, land it on the front edge. I should be able to generate enough spin to stop the ball. But what we're going to do, we're going to go through what perhaps, you know, is a really good option for you. So part of the problem with pitching is that your perception of the shot is wrong. You perceive this ball to go really high, land, spin and stop, and that's not a pitch shot. A pitch shot, it goes forwards, it lands. For the majority of it, it will release a bit as well. It's going to run. So we need to use the run here to our advantage. So what I would do here is I can prefer the ball, so it's still a tight line no matter what happens. So even though that's a bit better that there's still no grass there, I'd have a look at the slope. So the slope definitely goes on the ground from right to left. So once this ball starts to run, it might drift to the left. When it lands, it might kick a bit left. So I would take that into consideration because I'm going to try to pitch this one a bit short because it makes the striking easier. I would always pick a shot that makes the strike easier, even though I said that I would go for the green with my 60. So I'm going to try to work out how far do I need to hit the ball for the club I select to give it the required amount of run. So let's go with a... Okay, I'm going to go with a gap wedge here. Okay, so you could use something like a 7 iron, 8 iron, 9 iron. You don't have to go anything as low as what I'm going to go. So I'm going to go with a gap wedge. And this means that I need to pitch this a good few yards short of the green. Because of the loft dictates run, it's going to give it enough run to sort of scoot through. And not only that, while it's a bit damp like it is here, the first bounce could skid. So we might get a bit of skid, which is just going to aid us in the shot that we need here. So let's have a go. So 37 yards, I probably need to pitch this 10 yards short. I think I'll get about 10 yards run, and I'm also going to aim up to the right hand side. So ball position fairly middle, maybe a tiny bit back. Not too much. So have a look at where we're going to land it. Let's have a go. So hit it. There we go. It's jumped up and we've rolled up to about 8 foot from the hole. So that's not too bad at all. And again, when I take a club like this, you can see I've took hardly any turf. Okay, and that's perfect when you've got a tight lie to go with something with a little less loft than what perhaps you'd want to. It's easier to strike. You just have to allow for a bit more bounce and roll, but we've got a good chance to hole the putt. I hope these have helped you.